Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, an opposition MP defends the controversial Supreme Court ruling on emails and privacy. It's going to take an extra $3 million for school repairs this year. And we have a chat with the parents of Shawnee Miller and the Golden Girl herself. Welcome to our news. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, Deputy Leader of the Free National Movement, Peter Turnquest, suggested he agrees with Supreme Court Justice Inge Charles' ruling in that Save the Bay's email matter. Turnquest charged that the emails of private citizens should not be made public without their knowledge, and the boundaries regarding such matters should be made more clear. Dana Smith reports.
Justice Charles ruled earlier this month that Minister of Education, Science and Technology Jerome Fitzgerald breached Save the Bay's members' constitutional right to privacy and awarded the group a permanent injunction as well as $150,000 in damages. This after Fitzgerald read and tabled in the House of Assembly the emails of Save the Bay's members.
No one has the right to pick up anybody's personal correspondence and disclose that to the public without their approval. And so I think this case that Justice Charles has put forth is an interesting test case for us as a country and as a developing democracy. We need to know, and the public deserves to know, what are the boundaries? What protections can we expect from the state when somebody that we have elected and put in trust violates what we believe is our right to privacy?
House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major came under criticism in some quarters for allowing those emails to be read in the first place. In the wake of those comments, Major said in retrospect he should not have allowed Fitzgerald to read the emails. Turnquest said he agrees.
I have a lot of respect for the Speaker. I think he's an honorable gentleman, and I believe he tries to do the right thing. If you recall, when this matter was first brought up, when the Minister started to read those emails, I got to my feet and I said to the Speaker that this is not right. We do not know the source of these emails, nor do we have permission, or he has permission to read them. The Speaker at the time erred. Well, I say erred, but he ruled on the side of the government and allowing those emails to be read. I believe that in hindsight, he would have probably made a different ruling if he had to make that ruling today. Major
and several other MPs condemned Justice Charles's ruling, labeling it a violation of the separation of powers. But Turnquest said, in his opinion, the Supreme Court is well within its jurisdiction to consider the issue.
The court has its jurisdiction, which is again to look out and to for the best interest of the wider citizenry. And so I think that they're well within their right to test the case. This boils down really to a constitutional matter. And so that is within the jurisdiction of the courts, and they will make a decision. What Parliament does as a result of that ruling is a different matter.
The Office of the Attorney General was granted a stay pending an appeal. Major said he expects Parliament to be vindicated. Reporting for our news, I'm Dana Smith.
Thanks, Dana. Well, it's going to cost government nearly $12 billion to get public schools where they need to be for the start of the new school year. That's $3 million up from the $9 million that's been spent each year for the past 4 years, according to Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald. He told our news that this school year, some schools just needed a lot more done.
We're progressing well with regard to the school repairs. You know, we got a late start. I was very critical of the Ministry of Works as a result of that, but I have to give them credit. They have been working overtime and making up a lot of groundwork. We've been meeting twice a week for the past 6 weeks, and we're satisfied that we're going to get most of the works completed. We'll know more after this weekend.
Now, although all schools won't be done by next week's opening, the fixtures that needed to be completed, according to Fitzgerald, aren't anything that would prevent the students from getting in the classrooms. The minister praised the contractors, many of whom he said have been working ahead of being paid. The school posing the biggest challenge this go-around, D.W. Davis.
We have D.W. Davis is an old school. We had a major plumbing work there and electrical last year. We did a major electrical upgrade. This summer we did a major plumbing upgrade, but that's finished now. Okay. There are quite a few schools that we did quite a bit of work on. This year was the most we've spent on summer repairs, which is probably why the Ministry of Works may have taken longer than usual. There's a lot of what we call remodeling was done, and so I know a lot of the principals and teachers are going to be extremely happy because there's some things they've probably been looking for and asking for years.
But in all, he said government is spending a pretty penny on getting school fixed this year.
So we end up spending about $4 million more than we normally spend, so it's quite a significant amount. The budget for school repairs when I came in was about 4.5, but the schools were in a really deteriorated position, and we increased it to 6, but every year I spent a minimum of $9 million every year since I've been minister. This year we're going to spend around $12 million, just to give you an idea of the kind of money is $12 to $13 million. So,
well, we all know the story of Shawnee Miller, the Olympic gold medalist whose photo finish was seen all around the world, but not many people know what that moment was like for her family. For her mother, it was a moment she had prayed for years.
Oh, it was such a good feeling, you know. I was there on the finish line and I was screaming and cheering for her.
That's right. This is the tie for the Olympics.
It really is. As a mother, Maybelline said she knew this was what her daughter really worked hard for.
She worked very hard for it. You know, that was her goal going out. She said, "Mommy, going out to win this gold." You know, so we went to Rio with that in mind. We coming back home with the gold.
Her father is a coach. He said he didn't watch the race near the finish line intentionally.
Yes, it was. It was very rewarding to see her perform the way she did in Rio. And, you know, I was not near the Bahamas team at that time. I chose to place myself on the back stretch because right after the race I wanted to give God the praise and the thanks, but I needed someplace to kind of quiet to do all of that.
But now that she's got her gold medal around her neck, what's next for Shawnee Miller?
We're looking at one more meet in September, but we're still trying to figure that one out. But after that, then we're just going to come home fully and finish celebrate.
All the hard work, the training, the blood, sweat, and the tears, they paid off. I saw you on the ground when you were laying down, you're saying, "Thank you, Jesus." That must have been a feeling.
It really was. You know, God brought me such a long way, and, you know, all I could do is just thank Him for it. I came out victorious, and, you know, hey, He deserves all the thanks and praise for it.
In other news, police have seen a huge turnaround in the attitudes of young people living in inner-city communities, according to Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean. He heads the police arm of the Urban Renewal Department, and with numerous centers across New Providence, he said more and more young people have been staying out of trouble and gotten involved in more positive community initiatives.
I can tell you, and each one of them can, these officers give you testimonials. We could bring the children, they're alive. We don't have to go and guess and figure that out. There are children throughout the community, many testimonies of children who have passed through these programs. Let's even just look at the Urban Renewal Band, children who have gotten scholarship. We have one child now who has just gotten a scholarship to university through being in the band. We have students in the COB. We have persons now who came through the Urban Renewal Program who are members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. So, you know, there are so many examples. As you look throughout this whole Bahamas, there are many people who lay claim of past and being touched by urban renewal.
Just this past week, every Urban Renewal Center in New Providence handed out hundreds of backpacks and school supplies to families in need.
And I can tell you that what's going to happen, what is happening here, this is just a tip of what happens in urban renewal. This is just a tip on a daily basis, But I can say we want to use this opportunity because it's back to school and there's some precautions that need to be in place. Safety of our paramount important for our children. We say to our parents, as you prepare your children for back to school, you should be talking to them about safety issues, about not carrying knives to school, are not being involved in gangs. Those things will not be tolerated in our schools and our schools time this year.
When our news returns, the Sandals Resort still making headlines. Stay with us.